Hi guys, Josh from TT101. Today I'm going to be starting a new video series for you guys, and that's going to be on gun store etiquette. Now, I thought what better way than to start this video and series for you guys than telling you guys a couple stories of what has actually happened to me at the gun counter. And this one is the most recent one that happened. This was actually 3 days ago, and this is what kind of sparked the idea to bring this video series for you guys, because a lot of people just don't understand how to conduct themselves at the gun counter, and I thought it would be a good idea to help make that a little more clear for you guys. And this is in no way, shape, or form a video about me being kind of like an a-hole about all this. This is just kind of like what is the unwritten rules revolving around a gun counter. And the first one I'm going to talk to you guys about today is going to be this story, well, these two stories that I have for you. So I'm going to get right into it. Now, 3 days ago, I had a very nice older gentleman. He came into my gun store and he was asking me if we had any Kimber micro magazines. So I proceed to walk around my gun counter and then walk over to where our glass cases are displayed for all of our magazines, because I didn't know if we had any micro magazines left. So I'm sitting here and he's off to my left, just beside me right here. And I'm looking in the case and I ask him, while still looking in the case, is it for a micro 9 or for a micro 380? And instead of him telling me what it was, he takes his firearm out of concealment and actually is pointing it at me at this point. And he didn't realize he was doing it though. But I look at him then after his pause, and he didn't say anything. I heard him like jostling around with his jacket. And I look at him and I got a gun pointed at me. I'm like, oh God. So I pushed the gun out of my way because I had no idea what he was doing. And he looked at me like I was nuts. And I'm looking at him like he's nuts. I'm like, don't ever bring your gun out in my gun store again. Like, do not do that. I'm like, and I feared for my life at this point. For me to turn from here to here and see a gun just pointed at me, that freaked me out. And I like saw my life flash before my eyes for a second, and I was pretty stern with him, and I kind of yelled at him. But in my defense, I feel like I should have in that situation. But the thing is, he didn't know. He didn't realize he was doing something wrong. And after we both had simmered down, and he was like, "Oh, I'm sorry," and he put the gun away. And after that, I took a deep breath. I was like, listen, and I gave him the rundown. I'm like, you don't want to bring your gun out in a gun store. That's going to really make everyone feel uneasy. And me, myself, that startled me quite a bit. And I'm sorry that I yelled at you. And I went and shook his hand then. And I was like, just don't do that ever again. Because any other guy, they might have reacted much more differently than I did in that circumstance. And given the frame of mind that I was in and thinking what I was thinking, I was like, man, I didn't know what he was thinking. So he was okay about it. He was like, I'm sorry. And then I proceeded to tell him that. I'm like, well, on that note, we don't have any of the Micro 9 magazines because those are like unicorn tiers to find right now. That's a very popular gun, and every time I get some in, someone comes and snatches every one of them up that I have. So we left on a good note, and everything was okay, and he'll never do that ever again, which is good. And it's good being a gun salesman to teach your customers on how to conduct themselves. And again, that's why I started this video series. I just want you guys to understand where we come from, because we don't know who you are. We don't know what you're thinking. And sometimes the guy behind the counter might be an asshole about you doing these mistakes and these things that I'm going to list in all these videos that I'm going to have for you guys. And another story that goes hand in hand with this last story that I just told you guys. Now, a lot of times I'll be talking to customers about firearms and whatnot, and then the topic of concealed carry comes up. And the guy or lady that I'm talking to, it's 99% of the time it's a guy. I've never had a lady do this, but that being said, it could happen and with a lady. But I'll have a guy. He's a concealed carry guy, and he's got his concealed carry card. That's great. He just got it, and he wants to produce his gun and show it to me. And it's a loaded gun at a gun counter. That just does not happen. You do not want that. And a lot of times I'll be talking to him, and then another customer will come up, and I get distracted. But as I'm talking to this other customer, or I'm looking off into the distance for a second, he is already taking his gun out and taking the magazine out and trying to rack the slide back to clear the round that's in the chamber. This actually happened about a month ago with an older gentleman again. And as he's trying to clear the gun to show it to me, And I didn't notice this all at this point, and he's pointing the gun right at me as he's trying to clear it, and he's struggling with it because he's a little bit of an older gentleman, and he's got his finger just barely riding the side of the trigger, and I was like, whoa! And I got out of the way, and I was like, sir, put your gun away, put your magazine back in. I do not want that loaded gun on my counter at the gun counter right now. I don't want to clear it. I don't want it out at all. And he was like, oh, I'm sorry, blah, 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 and he put it away. And 99% of the time, people that do these screw-ups, they don't understand that it's not acceptable, like I said before. And I told the man, I was just like, listen, I know you want to show me your gun, and I'm very happy that you have that gun or whatnot. I know you're excited about it. But if you ever want to show me your firearm, bring it in a case. Bring it in a hard case or a soft case with a chamber flag in the gun and the magazine out of the gun if it's a semi-automatic handgun. If it's a revolver, obviously you don't have to do that, but and that just mitigates the whole situation from ever happening, you know. And a lot, like in that circumstance too, I had a lot of customers at the gun counter that day with that guy that was trying to rack the slide to clear his gun, and that's why I got distracted. And when the other people saw that, I saw the guy that I was talking to look at him, and he was like startled as well. And you don't know these other customers either. Me being a gun salesman, I don't know if this guy that is beside the guy that's trying to clear the gun that's loaded and pointing at me at this point is going to try and take that gun and wield, then he's a gun-wielding lunatic at the gun counter. You know, that's a whole other situation that should never arise. You should never take out a loaded gun out of your concealment holster and show it at the gun counter. There should never be a loaded gun at all at the gun counter unless it is concealed, and concealed is concealed. Keep your gun concealed. So, like I said before, if you want to show us your gun, bring it in a case, and that would just be much more swell for everybody. And it won't scare any of my customers at the gun counter. And I can definitely say that every gun salesman that's going to be watching this video is going to agree with me on that statement 100%. And in that circumstance, yes, I got firm again with the guy. And I'm a very relaxed, laid-back guy. If you ever come to the Big R and actually have a conversation with me, you'll get to know me and understand that I'm pretty relaxed about a lot of the stuff that happens at the gun counter. And I will not try and snap at you, but I will tell you in the nicest way that I can given the circumstance. Every circumstance is different and situation and whatnot. So I think that's going to be enough ranting on that topic. Again, I wanted to start this video series for you guys because a lot of people just don't realize that they're doing these things that the gun salesman or the customers do not like at all to deal with at a gun counter. So I hope you found this video to be informational. I do want to end this video on a good note because this was kind of a negative video, if you ask me. But this is my Springfield Armory Saint, and this is Springfield's first introduction to the AR-15 world. And I actually had a Vortex Diamondback topped onto this gun as of today, and I actually switched it out with a loopholed. This is a Mark I AR scope, and it's a 3-9 by 40, and I really like this scope a lot. The eye relief is extremely nice. You could be all the way up here or all the way back here, and you can still see through the scope quite well. And I also like that it's a mil-dot reticle in this scope as well. Then you can make your adjustments when you're out to distance, but it also is preset on this turret at the top for your bullet drop. You can adjust it from 100, I think, all the way out to like 600 yards or something like that. Don't hold me to that though. I'm just getting used to this scope here. But the reason why I topped this one on instead is because the glass is a little bit nicer than that Diamondback, but it also is a little more expensive. This gun, this scope, excuse me, is coming in right at 320 bucks, I believe. So I will have an opportunity pretty soon here to really shoot out to some distance with this rifle. I know there's not a lot of distance shooting that's been done on YouTube about this gun, so you guys can stay tuned for that video. That should be pretty interesting. So I think that's going to wrap it up then today, guys. If you're not a subscriber, hit the subscribe button, and don't forget to hit the like button. I would really appreciate that. And look in the description below of this video as to where I work. I have the address, the phone number. If you wanted to shoot me a call, I can tell you what we have in stock or whatnot. I don't mind doing that whatsoever. So, and don't forget also to look at my Amazon affiliate website link. All the sales that go through that website link help to keep cool content like this coming to you guys. So yeah, that's going to be it, guys. You guys take care and stay tuned for more interesting videos.